to episode 3 of Having a Sip. I have just got back from the jump outs and I am on what I call the nectar of the gods, a bit of Diet Coke. Probably not what the aim of the game is, but Ryan Arnel from Stonehouse Thoroughbreds has been good enough to join us today. It's a busy time for him running mares around to studs and that, but thanks for joining us, Ryan.
No, thanks for having me, mate. And yeah, as much as I was, when you invited me to this, I was really looking forward to the perfect excuse for a midday beer. But as I said before, I've got to get on the road very soon. So yeah, I'm just on the coffee in the Mr. Cool Cup.
No, and we're pleased to have you on. It's someone a bit different. We've had a couple of owners and that sort of stuff. So we've got someone joining us from a stud today. And just firstly, Ryan, how did you become involved in racing?
Yeah, probably pretty standard to a lot of people. Racing, I'm not actually from a racing family at all, but my grandmother, she actually managed a TRB, one of the first TRBs down in Melbourne, and I grew up down that way with her a fair bit in my younger days. So it probably all started from similar sorts of things to you hear from other people, where I'm running to the pub, putting the bets on for my grandma, and getting a bit of an interest in the racing side that way.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a common theme so far with these episodes, and yeah, I mean, it's obviously a way to start, and then you get that interest and you get that fire burning in your belly, and you become involved in the animal, so it's good to see. So during the regular week, what would that sort of involve for you?
Yeah, so as you said before, we're a breeding farm. We are right in the middle of our busy season at the moment. So foaling starts sort of at the start of August and will go right through till November. And we're in the process of covering mares at the moment. So that starts on the 1st of September and rolls right through into December. So a busy day at the moment. A good example is today, actually. We've had 2 foals overnight. So it's sort of a 24/7 job at the moment, and then on the road, getting a few mares to cover up to various stallion stations around Victoria, back at home for reproductive work and scanning with our vets, and seeing what else is getting ready for cover, and then sure enough back on the road again for the afternoon slots.
Very good. It sounds like the horse is nice and busy, but so when you talk about that, is how old is your farm, and how long have you been sort of doing it on your own?
Yeah, so I bought this farm just almost on 7 years now, but running it as a full-time operation for 6 years. Bought it, I was actually doing a lot of work over in the UK, exactly what I'm doing now, breeding operations and things like that, working for some companies over there. And then, I came back to Australia a little bit by default because I was pretty well set up over there at the time. And then, I basically come across this farm and decided this is a perfect opportunity to give it a go myself. And 5 to 6 years later, I'm still in it and it's going well. So it's good.
Yeah, I was up there recently, and you were out there doing the fencing and whatever else in the off season. So you're working hard on it. It's good to see you having a bit of success with the sales and getting big numbers to the sales. It's good to see the young people getting in and having a go. And I'm pleased that you're involved in our stable. And how did you actually become involved in our stable?
Yeah, so we actually sent a horse into you there, the Palantino out of Unfurl. Horse we believe in, so we've got a decent share in that, and we're looking forward to him. Basically sent to you because as you said before, we're all young people in the industry. I think Victoria, especially racing and breeding, there's an excellent young base that's really getting a foundation at the moment, and I'm a huge supporter of getting behind each other and supporting one another. So it happens naturally anyway, but it's really promising and looking like there's some really strong roots there that are getting grown into the Victorian racing and breeding sector at the moment. So I was by sending a horse to you, more than happy to support that, and you taking a horse off me supporting us. So it's been really good.
Good stuff. The question, we've got a common theme throughout our throughout these episodes, and we've all got one, or if not many of them. But it's a story of if you don't laugh, you'll cry. So it's racing to near misses or slightly missed opportunities. What's probably your main one there?
Or like you say, we've all got one. We've all got 100, and probably the most common one is being involved in any horse that comes around the corner, and you think you're on a winner, and you're on the edge of the seat, and then all of a sudden it just all falls into a heap. I think everyone can relate to that. But trying to think of a couple other different ones. A different one was when I was working in the UK. Actually, and always running through my head like what I do in the long term, creating my own business, building up my business. And I was actually doing what we're doing now. I was on a walkout, taking a mare to cover over at the Royal Stud, and got lost along the way, and had to pull over on the side of the road and ask for some directions on where I'm going and what to do. And halfway through this conversation, I realised the person I'd asked for directions was Prince William and Kate Middleton. And in an absolute embarrassment and a flurry, I got the directions, but I just took off. I was out of there. And then later on just thought, oh, well, there's the perfect start to a client base, isn't it? Get a bit of the royal family into your business would have been ideal, but not to be.
Well, they look like they've got themselves out of the royal family at the moment anyway, so
yeah,
maybe any of the Queen's will be coming to you through that, but anyway, it sounds like a bit of a missed opportunity and a bit of an embarrassing story, so...
another one we had. We actually, Sunlight as a foal. She was a foal at Mum's foot at the time, and she resided in Victoria at our farm for the first few months of her life, while Mum was getting recovered to Zoostar, who was standing here down in Victoria at Woodside Park. And I always actually thought we loved her as a foal. Obviously, nobody had any idea what she would have developed into, but we did love her. She was 50% owned by Qatar Bloodstock and 50% owned by Widden Stud. And the Qatar Bloodstock horses often had our brand on it. So she departed our farm only a couple of weeks before we started our freeze branding, which is what we see on all the horses in Australia. And we often thought, gee, she's such a nice foal. Wouldn't it be great to put our brand on that foal? And but obviously, Widden being 50%, we wouldn't do that to them. So it obviously didn't happen. And then, lo and behold, she went on to do what she did, and now we're sitting there watching her on tally, thinking that could have been our brand.
yeah, definitely. You wouldn't mind being a little cut in the prize money and the post.
Yeah.
Post racing career sale as well. But yeah, I've got a few there with being underbidders and just sort of, near misses on the punt too. So anyway, it's the way racing goes, and we've got a few good stories to come in. What about your major wins or best days on the racetrack?
Best days. Hopefully, there's some better days to come. We've got a good Palantino down at your place there, mate. So, no, we've had some nice little farm successes. And as I said before, when I worked in the UK, I worked for a company, Qatar Bloodstock, and early days we had a horse called Dunedin over there, and I actually I didn't get to see him live win the Melbourne Cup, but I watched him from the office with David Redford's, the racing manager's mother, and whilst watching, sort of describe the Australian Melbourne Cup as one of the hardest Australian races to win, and I know it's your first go at it, but good luck for trying, but it's very tricky. And lo and behold, they went and won it, and they won it well with a good horse. So, and here I am, the only Australian in the company, sitting in England in the middle of the. That was pretty good to be a part of it, even though a small part. But it's always good to be a part of any sort of significant achievement like that. And another one was Extra Brute, probably winning the Derby. That was he went through a draft for a small owner, Andrew McDonald, owns the mare and bred the horse, and we did the work there for him and got to prepare that and send it through the sales. And that was early in the farm and the business's career. So to see him hit the track and go through the paces he did was pretty reassuring that we're doing the right thing there somewhere along the way anyway.
Yeah, I distinctly remember him as a yearling. You must have sold him as a weanling, did you?
We sold him as a weanling, yeah, and then he sold at the Sydney sale as a yearling.
Yeah, I
He was
distinctly
resold.
remember him. I was looking for a horse to trade to Asia and thought this horse was on a doomsday. It looks like a Redoutes, and thought he might make 30 or 40. He made 100, and yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah,
What about going forward? You spoke about it earlier, and the young people being involved. What do you think the industry can do to improve?
Look, I wouldn't say as much as improve, but keep improving on is, again, going on about young people in the industry. I think they're, especially I'll speak from the breeding side of things because obviously that's what I'm heavily involved with, but staffing, whether it's an issue or not, I'm not sure, but getting young people motivated into this game, it's obviously a very hard game to get involved in the sense that it is demanding hours. It demands a definite passion for the horse. If you don't like horses, if you're not passionate about this, it's a very difficult job for someone young to come in and do. We've got there's some great sort of routes into this industry with colleges like Marcus Oldham I went through, and Your Better Half also did the same. We were actually in the same year, and then Oz Horse is doing some great stuff as well. They've also got some breeding programs and things going on. But I think going forward, if we can keep building on those things, I think that's going to be the utmost importance to keep this industry, racing and breeding, in the young person sort of eye, I guess, and keep it at the forefront of people's minds and keep it powering along.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very labour-intensive, long hours and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's essential for them to have the interest and to want to do it. And you know, you and I have probably both started off a low base with not having a foot in the door through family connections. And if you work hard at it, take your opportunities. You know, it's good to see that you can sort of get somewhere and be able to sort of run your own business. It's a matter of putting in the hard work early on. So we've been pretty happy to have a chat with you today, Ryan. We've just got the standard questions at the end. Do you prefer a bold front runner or a back marker?
Oh, in different scenarios, they're as good as each other, but there's nothing. I love a back runner. I love seeing that horse just poking away behind and then weave his way through a bit of traffic and then just find that other gear that just comes over the top of him. It's impressive to see a good horse do that. It's a smart horse too, I think.
I'm probably in the same boat there. I'm happy to hear that. What about a Palmer or a Palmy?
It's got to be Palmer down this way, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy with that too. And what about the tomato sauce? Does it live in the cupboard or in the fridge?
Oh, the sauce. We're a bit of a split household here. I think sometimes I find it in the fridge, sometimes it's in the cupboard. If it was up to me, it'd probably just be on the dining room table all the time, and it should never get put back, really, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I haven't heard that one yet, but I'm happy with that. Thanks very much for joining us, Ryan. We appreciate it. We'll let you get back to work and get covering those mares. So good on you, and we appreciate it.
Good stuff, mate. Thank you very much. Good luck for the season.